Okay, the other thing I think about for holiday beverages beyond the mocktails is hot chocolate. Like, that's always just comforting to have something warm to drink, and chocolate is, of course, the best endorphin producer ever. And for those of you that haven't been in my class before, I'll just give you the 101 of raw chocolate. Now, the chocolate powder you buy in the store, like Hershey's, for instance, that's been heated at high temperatures, it's been alkalized, it's had most of the nutrients stripped out of it, it's highly acidic. But if you get raw chocolate powder, which is called cacao powder, C-A-C-A-O, so it's spelled different. The Hershey's is cocoa powder, and you want to look for cacao powder. And what that is they take the beans and they just, they grind them up, and then they press them and at a cool temperature, so it's cold pressed, and the oil that comes out is your cocoa butter, or your cacao butter, and then the powder that's left over, the protein that's left over, is your cacao powder. And if it's cold processed, then it still retains all of the antioxidants. It's got a higher antioxidant content than most of your fruits and vegetables. It's a superfood because of this extra high antioxidant content. It's got a very high mineral content, and it's got a very high mineral or vitamin profile to it. And so it's actually one of the most nutrient dense foods that you can eat, but you have to get it raw, you have to get it cold processed, and it has to be cacao, not cocoa powder. So when you're looking in the health food store for the chocolate that I make things out of, that's what you're going to look for. So with that in mind, it's super easy to make. Most of the time, hot chocolate, what does it have in it? It has your processed cocoa powder that I just talked about how it's processed. It's got high fructose corn syrup in it. It's got sugar. It's got loads of chemicals, flavors, colorings, and hydrogenated oil. It's always got that in it. And so the hot chocolate that you buy at the store, you get at a restaurant, probably couldn't be worse for you if they tried. So this is a way to make it, and it's super delicious, and it's really, really good for you. It's a superfood beverage. Now the trick to this, because you don't want to damage any of the heat-sensitive vitamins in here, is you don't want to get it above like 105 to 115 degrees. So you want to keep it there. So almond milk, nut milk, rice milk, whatever you want to do with that. And then we've got just our raw cacao powder. Now most of these beverages, because they are made out of the cacao powder, it's going to be more of a bitter chocolate flavor. Most people are used to the milk chocolate, really sweet, really creamy, milky, rich. This is going to be more of a bitter chocolate flavor, so keep that in mind. And for some people it's an acquired taste, so you might have to add a little bit more sweetener to it, a little bit of other ingredients just to get used to the flavor. But I will say this, most people that I talk to that stop eating regular chocolate and they start eating raw chocolate, after just a little while they can't stand eating the regular chocolate again, just because this makes you feel so good. It actually helps produce endorphins. It has some antidepressant properties in it, and then when you go back to the other chocolate, it just kind of makes you feel sick. So keep that in mind as you're acquiring a taste for whole foods and healthy foods. Okay, so depending on how chocolatey you like it, I put like maybe quarter to a third of a cup of cacao powder in there. This is lecithin, and what lecithin does, it's a product that it's an emulsifier. So since I'm putting a little bit of coconut milk in there, or coconut oil in there, sorry, it's going to help it so the oil doesn't separate from the water, and it just emulsifies it. It also has lots of health properties for you. It's good for your liver, that kind of stuff. I'm just going to put in a pinch of salt. Helps to bring out the chocolate flavor and balance out the flavors a little bit. You can use honey or raw agave to sweeten it up. Again, if you're first starting out with healthier foods, sometimes you need a little more sweetener than you'll need later on after you're used to it. And a little bit of coconut oil. Now, I was just reading an article the other day about coconut oil, because of the lauric acid in it and because it's a medium chain triglyceride, that it acts like a carbohydrate instead of a fat. And I was reading an article that talked about how 4 tablespoons a day, this was like in a medical journal, 4 tablespoons a day of coconut oil can help to reverse symptoms of Alzheimer's, or help to prevent it because of the way your body uses the ketones produced by the medium chain triglycerides. So I thought that was really a cool tidbit. And again, your coconut oil has to be cold pressed, raw, extra virgin, organic, and if it is, then you've got lots of good health properties from that as well. And because coconut oil is a medium chain triglyceride, it actually helps you lose weight. So most fats will be stored and cause you to gain weight. Coconut oil actually helps you lose weight because of the way it's metabolized by your body. So it's good for you in lots of ways. Okay, so we've got milk, coconut oil, lecithin, salt, sweetener, and cocoa. And we're just gonna blend. Now for those of you that don't have a Vitamix, the Vitamix works so much better than regular blenders. Because of the RPM, how fast it goes, it actually helps to emulsify the oil with the water, and it makes everything just a lot creamier. So if you have a Vitamix, this will work a lot better. And with the Vitamix, what happens is the blade goes so fast, it'll heat up anything in here. So if you leave the blender on for like 3 to 5 minutes, it'll boil whatever's in there. So you can make soup or pudding or hot chocolate and just leave it on long enough and it'll be boiling in no time at all. So you don't actually even have to use a pan for the hot chocolate if you have a Vitamix. Okay, so I'm just tasting for sweetness here. And to me, it needs more coconut oil, needs more cocoa powder, needs a little more sweetener. So again, your intuitive eating, I'm just kind of like walking you through how to taste things. And again, it's going to be different. You're going to have to make this your own. I'm giving you the basic building blocks of how to do this yourself. And in the recipe book that I'm doing for this class, it'll give you the basic measurements of how to do this. And what you're going to do is like put in the basic measurements and then alter it according to your taste. So maybe a little more sweet, a little more salt, a little more whatever you want to put in there. So I'll give you the basic measurements and then you can alter it from there. And then also make note, write in your recipes when you make changes, write it down and then you can remember it. And then the next time you want to make it, you won't have to like try to wonder what in the world you did to make it so delicious the time before. Much better. Okay, let's taste this and see how it's going. See if this works. I'm brave. All right. Okay, getting better. I need a little more of this. Now, my two favorite things to put in hot chocolate, if you don't like it just plain, I like putting either like making a mint chocolate, so you put a little bit of peppermint oil in there, or hazelnut chocolate with just a few drops of hazelnut flavoring. So for a festive holiday hot chocolate, if you just don't want the boring regular hot chocolate, those are two ideas of something you can put in it. Okie doke. Now, because I don't want to leave the blender running for 5 minutes while you guys are sitting there listening to the noise, I'm just going to put it in a pan. I'm going to put it on really low, and I'm just going to heat it up till it's warm, and then you guys can taste it. But like I said, you can leave it in the Vitamix at home, or if you do put it on the stove, just make sure it's at a really, really low temperature. You don't want to get it hot, or it's going to destroy the nutrients in the coconut oil and the cocoa powder and your raw honey. So you just want to keep it warm, not hot. Okay, tasting better. Darn it. Okay, a little bit more. And what do you guys want, hazelnut or peppermint? Peppermint. Peppermint it is. All right. So I'm just putting a few drops of essential oil in here. You can use peppermint extract if you like, but I've got essential oil and that works as well.
So if it says mint extract that you just buy in the regular store, is that good?
Yeah.
Or is there a difference in extract?
So an extract is usually they take the mint and they either press the juice out of it or they soak it in alcohol, and the alcohol draws out all the minty flavor. So that's usually an extract, is when they put it in alcohol, and then you've got a combination of alcohol, water, and whatever they're extracting. The essential oils are distilled, so they put them in a steam distiller. The steam comes up through the mint leaves, captures the oils, and then they distill all the water off from the steam, and then you've got the oil left. So this is like pure oil. So let's say you have a teaspoon of extract is the same as maybe 5 drops of essential oil. So keep that in mind so you don't like totally blow yourself away if you're doing the essential oils. Now make sure when you go to the store and buy extracts that you read the ingredients. A lot of times they fill it up with propylene glycol, high fructose corn syrup, sugar, all kinds of garbage. So just read the back of the labels of your extracts to make sure that it should only have water, alcohol, and whatever it is they're extracting. Here we go, one last one. There we go. And also if you're using essential oils, those are also really heat sensitive, so you only want to warm those up too and not heat them at high temperatures. All right, so we'll warm that up and give you guys a taste of it.